I don't think so.
Fuck Allie.
She talked to me about like virtual close ratio or show ratios, but not. I don't think she wanted me to do a referral workshop. They get plenty of referrals.
Evans run 4 virtuals and have 100% show ratio.
I have like a 15% show
Just
ratio.
like a Kenny quote.
Okay, everyone got something to take notes on? Everybody does?
Mm-hmm.
Nick, you got something to take notes? So this is a lot of specific information, and if you don't write it down, none of it's going to help you. So that's why it's really important. Everyone has something. But let's go ahead and get going. So this is day one stuff to start out, but obviously referrals start in rapport. You have to go in. I always go in and pretend I don't know what life insurance is. Like it's just like treat it like you're on a first date with somebody. You know, just go in, talk about the weather, talk about their dog, but then talk about the 4 rapport building questions. Don't even worry about insurance, because if you're focused on the life insurance, you're not going to be focused on what's really important, which is getting those referrals. So make them like you. Treat it like first date pretty much. If you're not asking the first question about their family in every single house, you're fucking up. So if you skip everything else, you got any family around here? That's in every single house. If you miss that question, you're shooting yourself in the foot, because that's where you're going to get all your ammo for getting the referrals later. Because if you just ask them, you don't have an idea of who's around them, then they're not going to give you anybody, or you're not going to be able to assume referrals later. So again, that's day one stuff, but it's extremely important. Sometimes when I ask people, you got a lot of family around here, they'll just say, oh yeah, I got family. And then that's it. They won't tell me specifics. Usually they'll go right into specifics, and you can start writing that down if you're doing virtual, or take mental notes if you're in person. But sometimes they'll just say, yeah. It's like, oh, okay. So if they just say yes, you got to dig a little deeper. So you say, oh, brothers, sisters, anyone like that? You know, it doesn't sound like you're interrogating them. You just kind of are making small talk. And then they'll go into, yeah, you know, I don't have any brothers, but my parents live up the road, this and that. So that is like, if you skip everything else, you got any family around here? And that's going to go a long way in rapport. And then that's pretty much the only thing most people do when they're getting referrals before they start asking for them, is they'll build a little rapport, get a little ammo, and then they'll do the intro video and then go to asking for referrals. But you have to take it a step further if you want to get a ton of referrals. So you kind of have to set them up with the idea that they're about to give you the names and numbers of their friends and family. So I call it pre-referral collecting. If someone can think of a more clever name than that, then let me know. But you just kind of plant the seed in their brain that it's expected of them that they're going to give you referrals. And the way you do that's really simple. I'm going to give you the verbiage, but it's just kind of like, if you just build rapport, then you're getting the ammo to get referrals later, but you're still going to get some resistance from them when you go to get that information later, unless you kind of already set up in their brain that they're going to be giving you referrals. So the way you do that is basically you have to proactively build into your presentation that the client is going to give you their information. And I do that by using the script that I've handed out to you guys that I posted in GroupMe. So if you're sitting with, it's a little different if you're with a hard card or with a referral. So if you're with a hard card, then you just go through the script, and before you play the intro video, you say, so have you heard of our company before, American Income? There's a line in the script, has anyone been out to personally deliver you your benefits? When you get to that part, I just say, so have you heard of our company before? And then they say, let them tell you no, unless they've been seen before. But most of the time, they haven't been seen before. So you say, oh, you know, that's pretty normal. We don't advertise. We don't sit with the general public. We only work with, you know, you all union members and the friends and families that you guys send us out to see. So you would never see us on TV advertising or doing commercials or anything like that, because we're such a tight-knit union-centered company. So from where you send in that yellow card, then my job is to go over the 3 no-cost benefits that have been set up for you, yada, yada, yada. But the line in that's really important is, we don't sit with the general public. We only work with union members and their friends and family they send us out to see. So you have to say that in every single house, referral or not. So if you don't write anything else down for this part, just put, and their friends and family they send us out to see. We don't sit with the general public. We only work with union members and the friends and family they send us out to see. And that's before you play the intro video. Isn't that easier than just dropping a bomb on them at the end of at the end of the AD&D? Because if you don't mention anything about sitting with people outside of the union beforehand, then they're going to be confused and say like, oh, well, I don't know anyone else in the union, or they're going to be confused thinking like, well, if they're not in the union, how can they get this stuff? Well, we don't sit with the general public. We only work with union members and their friends and families they send us out to see. So that's going to set them up it's just like you're making a sale. You don't just walk in the house and write down prices and say, which one do you want? You build your way up to that shit. We do the affordability question. It kind of plants in the idea they're going to be buying something at the end. This plants in the idea they're going to be giving out the names and numbers of their people. So then you say that, and if it's with a referral, it's the same concept. If you're sitting with a referral, you just say, so have you heard of our company before, American Income? Let them tell you no. Oh, well, that's pretty normal. We actually don't sit with the general public. We only work with union members and their friends and families that send us out to see. So because your brother Joe sponsored you into the program, you're able to receive the same offers and benefits that all union members get. So it's the same line, just slightly different. Everyone good on that part? Okay, and then a lot of people will rush through the no-cost benefits because they'll get hungry for that sale, and I've been guilty of that before too. I'm not perfect, but you have to genuinely believe in your brain that the no-cost benefits is the most important part of the presentation, because it is. It really is. It's not about the sale. It's about the no-cost. The close ratio on a lead is 33%. Every lead you sit with, every 3 leads you sit with, you'll sell one of them. The close ratio on a referral is 66% across the agency average. So you're not going to make your money selling that hard card at the end. You're going to make your money getting 10 referrals and then selling them if they end up buying. But don't get hungry for the sale. Take your time with it, Build your way up to that. Because these no-cost benefits, it's not about giving the coal miner their $4,000 accidental policy. They don't care about that, and we don't care about that either. Those no-cost benefits are there to make us a lot more money as agents. And so when you rush through that and you don't put a focus on it and give it the care that you need, then you're shooting yourself in the foot. It's normal, I've spent 45 minutes in a house before just on referrals. Not on rapport and not on the sale, but just in referral collecting. I've spent 45 minutes. Because you can waste a lot of time in rapport if you're talking about the weather and shit, but don't rush it, basically. When I was on my own, I would genuinely get more excited when I would get 10 referrals from somebody than when I would close for an 800 AOP deal, because I knew how much more money the referrals were going to get me later. So then the verbiage, how do you actually get the referrals? So it's really simple. I'll give you the exact verbiage, and I can send everyone. I'll take pictures of this and post it in GroupMe, so that way you don't have to write down the whole paragraph of what I say, but you'll have it so you can look at it later. But it's nothing special. You just say, after you explain the AD&D to them, you get 2 contingent beneficiaries. If you're not getting 2 contingent beneficiaries in every single house, whether it's a referral, whether it's a child safe lead, will kit lead, anybody, you always give them the AD&D and get 2 contingent beneficiaries. Because at the end of the day, if they're not going to give you anybody else, you're turning 1 lead into 2. And that's going to, and the close ratio on contingent beneficiaries is the highest out of all the referrals that we collect. So give them the AD&D, get 2 contingent beneficiaries, and then just say, and this part's important, write this part down. So like I said before, if you don't say that line, then you're not going to have as good of a result. But so like I said before, because remember, we already planted the seed earlier that they're going to give us the names and numbers of their family. So I always say, so like I said before, to remind them and kind of keep that idea going that they're going to be giving me referrals. But so like I said before, because we don't sit with the general public, Joe and Mary, because we only work with union members and their friends and families, and we can't do this with just anybody, every union member that I do sit with has the opportunity, that part's important too, because this is a privilege to them, has the opportunity to sponsor in up to 10 close friends and family members to receive their own $2,000 accidental death and dismemberment life insurance policy at no cost to them, just like you guys are receiving, just as a thank you for y'all being members in good standing. So what we'll go ahead and do is start out with your brother. You said he lived right down the road. We'll go ahead and get him down. What's his name? Remember, we already got an idea of where their family lives and who's nearby. So, like I said before, guys, because we don't sit with the general public, we only work with union members and their friends and families. Every member I sit with has the opportunity to sponsor in up to 10 close friends and family members to receive the same accidental death and dismemberment life insurance policy at no cost, just as a thank you for you guys being members in good standing. So what we'll go ahead and do, because that part's important too, don't ask, do you want to sponsor your brother? Don't say, we could... Be very assumptive about it. So what we'll go ahead and do is start with your brother. You said he lived right down the road. What's his name? Write that part down. What's his name? You're not asking, do you want to sponsor him in? Is it all right if we just put your brother down? Like, maybe we could do your brother. All that wishy-washy stuff isn't going to work. But if you just say, what's his name? It makes it sound like everybody does this. Like, this is standard operating procedures. What's his name? Joe? Okay. What's his last name? Smith. Great. Is it a 304 number? Yeah, okay. What's the rest of it? That way they're going to just naturally answer your questions. And so they might not even realize that they're sponsoring their brother in, because all you're doing is asking what his name is. You're not asking if they want to sponsor their brother in. You're just asking his name. And then you just type the name in the computer like everybody does this. Get the number. What city does he live in? Okay, great. All right, now let's go to your sister. She lived out in Crawley. What's her name? Okay. What is it? 304 number? Okay, great. What's the rest of it? Get her down. Use up all your ammo before you ever ask who you want to sponsor in. And then once you're out of people that live nearby, then you say, okay, guys, so that's 2 down. We've got 8 slots left. Who's next? And if you do all that, you'll get a decent result. But you can't stop there. You can't do all that and expect them to give you 10 referrals. Your job's not done yet. But if you do everything right up to this point, you can expect to get at least 3 or 4. And that's a great start. So just like anywhere else in this job, you're going to get rebuttals. But some people just give you all 10 without getting any rebuttals. And those people just keep asking who's next, coach them to 10, just like normal. But if you say all that, you're in a really, really good spot to get 10. And that's when you roll into giving them rebuttals. So you have to be their coach, give them a goal of 10 or whatever number that you feel comfortable with. I do 10. And, work their way out. 6 more, 5 more, 4 more, who's next? And then eventually you'll start getting excuses. Some people will say, oh, I don't know anybody. Or I don't want to sponsor anybody. Or I'm a recluse. I don't socialize. I keep to myself, stupid stuff. But if you rebuttal them, then you can squeeze more out. Tanner, you've done a great job of this. I've seen you in presentations rebuttal people and get more referrals. So it's less about what you say, but more about how you say it. Now, that being said, I'm going to give you the exact rebuttals that I use. So even if you don't use these specific ones, it's just a matter of getting the format right. So let me move on here. Yeah, so who here can tell me the proper way to beat a rebuttal on the phones when you're booking an appointment? Anybody?
There's multiple rebuttals.
But the proper structure to beat a rebuttal. How do you do it?
You do it before they rebuttal you, like you said before.
Well, you can proactively beat a rebuttal, but eventually you're going to run into people that hit you with something, and then you have to reactively beat it. So how do you do that? Regardless of what it is.
Well, you're going to respond, and then you're just going to immediately go back into what you were doing. You're going to set the appointment.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the exact answer I was looking for. So, who wants to role play with me real quick? Anybody? Chris? Okay, so you be Joe and Mary, and I'll be Evan, and we'll book you'll be a hard card, and I'm going to book an appointment with you. Just when you get the chance, hit me with something with, I'm at work right now. Can you call me back or some kind of phone rebuttal? Hello?
Hello?
Hey, Chris?
Yeah, who's this?
Hey, Chris, this is Evan with American Income. I was calling because I handle the benefits that have been set up for you for being a member of the United Steelworkers.
Mm-hmm.
I have that yellow 3x5 response card that you filled out and sent back in. I just needed to make sure some of the information you wrote down is still the same.
Okay.
So it looks like you put your wife down, Ashley, as your beneficiary. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and it looks like you have your address down as 123 Fake Street. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. And we've got your date of birth down as what's your date of birth?
7/15/91.
We got your date of birth down as 7/15/91. Is that correct?
That sounds right.
Okay, great. Chris, do you remember the letter that came with that card?
No, I don't even hardly remember the card, but I'm at work right now, man. I can't hardly talk very long.
Oh, that's fine. I'll call you later. Hang up. If we did that, what kind of result would we get?
You never get them back on the phone again.
They block your number. That's it. You're done.
What would we do if every single time someone gives you a rebuttal, you just eat it and then call the next person? I don't think we'd make very much money, would we?
Mm-mm.
So why the hell are we allowing people to give us rebuttals in referral collecting, the most important part of the presentation, and then not trying to beat it? Because when people tell you they don't know anybody, it's just bullshit. It's just like they can't afford it or they want to think about it. So, or if I give you an ABC and try to close you, and you just say, "Oh, I want to think about things for a while. Just leave your number. I'll call you later." You don't just say, "Okay, sure," and then walk out of the house, do we? How much money would we make? Not very much. So we got to fight for this stuff. It's just like making a sale, just like booking an appointment. We have to fight for it, and if you don't fight for it, then you're not going to get a good result. So I'm going to give you the exact rebuttals that I use. I got a couple different ones, but again, it's less about what you say, more about how you say it. Tanner will say, well, you can name anybody, even if you go to Christmas parties and anyone that you hang out with at a Christmas party that you might want to give this to so they can thank you next year. And then he's gotten referrals from that, so write this down too. Rebuttal people a minimum of 3 times before you move on to the rest of the presentation. Okay, who else wants to role play with me? Chris already went. Kenny? Okay, so I'm going to collect referrals from you, and every single time that I ask, just tell me you don't know anybody or some kind of rebuttal. Every single time. Kenny, because you're a member in good standing, like I said before, because we don't sit with the general public, we only work with union members and friends and families. Everyone that we sit with has the opportunity to sponsor in up to 10 close friends and family members to receive their own $2,000 accidental death and dismemberment life insurance policy at no cost, just as a thank you for being members in good standing. So, that being said, let's go ahead and start with your brother. What was his name?
His name is Joe, but I'm going to be honest with you, bud. He's probably not going to want you to come out and see him.
Well, after I use the ammo, then tell me you don't know.
Oh, okay. No, I sent you the third already. Yeah, his name is Joe Smith.
Joe Smith? Okay, what's his number? If you're assumptive like that, they're not going to give you that kind of bullshit. But in that situation, you say, oh, no, that's perfectly fine. Let's do your sister instead. What was her name? You just move on. But 99% of the time, if you're that assumptive, they're just going to give it to you. But
all right, so I named you my brother.
Okay, now let's do your sister. What was her name?
Her name is Mary Smith.
She out in Princeton, too?
She's actually in Bluefield.
Okay, Bluefield's at 304?
Yeah, 304 555 1234.
Okay, perfect. So we got them down. Now, Kenny, you've got 8 slots left. Who's next?
Buddy, I can't think of anybody right off the bat.
Oh, no, that's perfectly fine. You did put your mom and dad as your contingent beneficiaries, so we'll go ahead and get them down, too.
Okay.
So that's already 4 out of 10.
All right.
You've got 6 more. Who's next?
But I'm working out of state so much, I can't think of anybody. I'm not really talking with anybody close by.
Hey, no problem. I completely understand. The last steelworker that I sat with, he actually just got on his phone and went through his contacts and named off a couple people. That should give you some ideas, but you've got 5 more. Who's next?
Yeah, I can't think of anybody, but I'm sorry.
Hey, no problem. It's completely okay. It's just that most of the union members I sit with, they really try to take advantage of this opportunity because not everyone that we work with can get these union exclusive benefits. It's not something that just anybody can get. So most of the people I do sit with just really try to spread this around to as many people as possible. But you do have 4 more. Who's next? Keep going.
I guess I can put my cousin on here, but...
Well, no, just keep telling me you don't know anybody, just for the sake of the
I was
example.
going to tell you, he probably is not going to want you to see him, though.
Hey, no, that's perfectly fine. And I don't want to be unclear, Kenny. Not everyone has to do the full 10. That's just the limit the union has to put on things because we can't sit with just anybody. But so if you told me you wanted to sponsor in 20 people, we'd have to just trim it down to 10. But you do have 3 more slots. Who's next? See how I'm just putting it back on him every single time?
So are you trickling down, or are you just are you just assuming he gave you another one?
Yeah, like in the actual house, they're going to
'cause
give me
I mentioned my
rebuttals.
cousin, so he went ahead and wrote that down and got that information.
Yeah, in the once you beat a rebuttal and give it back to them, they're going to
They'll
give you
one
people.
more.
Yeah, and if they don't, just if you've got 5 slots left,
Just keep
And-
telling them they got 5 left.
yeah, it's like no problem. No one has to do the full 10, but if you most of the union members we sit with just really try to take advantage of this opportunity because not everyone can get in on these union exclusive benefits. But you got 5 more. Who's next? Oh, I don't know anybody. Okay, well, that's perfectly fine. The last union member I sat with, they just got on their phone and went through their contacts and named off a couple people. That should give you some ideas. But you do have 5 slots left. Who's next? Just whatever number they have.
Right.
But I was trickling down because when you do all this in the house and you really fight for it, like it's your paycheck because it is, then they're going to give you people. But it's just like beating a rebuttal on the phone. So you get a rebuttal. Why can't you mail it to me? Beat the rebuttal. Oh, well, that's what we did already. The union sent you a letter of explanation. Now it's my job to come out to here and personally deliver and explain your benefits to you. So, like I said, I'm going to be out in your area on Wednesday. I have an 8 a.m. and a 10 a.m. spot available. Which one's going to work better for you? You don't get a rebuttal, beat the rebuttal, and just be silent, expect it to work. You beat the rebuttal, and then repeat the days and times like you're on the phone. But on referrals, get a rebuttal, beat the rebuttal, repeat the call to action. Same exact structure. And if you do that 3 times, and by the time you get 3 rebuttals, you'll usually be at the full 10. If not, you'll be at 7 or 8. And that's really where you want to be at. You want to be at 5 on average. So 90% of the people that give me 10 referrals are people that I had to beat a rebuttal with at least twice. So if you do that 3 times and they still don't give you 10, that's fine. But you'll be in a lot better spot than if you just let them tell you they don't know anybody.
So after the AD&D, you're hitting them with 3 rebuttals and they still don't give it to you, just keep pushing it with child safe and the other ones?
Yeah, you can go on the child safe and ask for refs on that one. But
Just like keep pushing it the same, or do you think that's going to turn them off from everything?
Yeah, I did. Okay.
now, once you hit them with 3 rebuttals in AD&D, don't hit them with 3 more rebuttals in child safe. And then you're going to upset some people.
So the thing is, you're saying to hit them with 3 rebuttals, but what happens if you mess up the tempo of your presentation along the way? Like you notice the mood change, and like, is there a time that you need to put the brakes on the?
Yeah, after my 3rd rebuttal. That's when I put the brakes
So you're
on it.
willing to throw away a whole presentation?
You wouldn't throw it away. People get that fear that you're going to kill your sale by pushing for referrals. But this isn't pushy or rude or...
Yeah, we're making it seem like it's
Yeah.
a gift.
Have you ever had someone escort you out over pushing for referrals?
No. I've had people escort me out of the house, but not for referrals. Because this is a privilege that they get, and you're not being pushy when you say, well, the last union member I sat with, they just got on the phone and went through and named some people, because they really want you guys to take advantage of this opportunity. Same with a referral. If you're sitting with a referral, so like I said before, because we don't sit with the general public, we only work with union members and friends, yada, yada, yada. Well, when they hit you with a rebuttal, well, your friend Mary that sponsored you into the program, she just got on her phone and went through her contacts and named off a couple people. That should give you some ideas to who's next. Same with, you can tailor all these to if you're sitting with a referral too. And that's the point I'm trying to make. But let's see. Same with the union exclusive benefits rebuttal. You can still do that with a referral too. Just say, not everyone can get this stuff, especially from where you're not in the union. You have a rare opportunity to sponsor in people to get the same union discount that you're getting. So who do you want to sponsor in? You got 3 slots left. But anyway, any questions on rebuttals? Any other questions on rebuttals? No? Okay. All right. And then very last thing, just like you solidify your sale and you solidify your appointments, you have to solidify your referrals. And if you don't, then you're pretty much just getting referrals.
I'm sorry.
You're good. You're pretty much just getting referrals to make yourself feel good. You have to put it in their brain that they need to let these people know that we're going to be contacting them. And it's pretty easy. I'm going to give you the exact verbiage that I say. After you get everything down, write down the names of every single referral they gave you, all 10, because by this point you'll have 10 if you implement everything I just said. hand it to them. You just write it on a piece of paper, hand it to them. And then you just say, so Joe and Mary, the hardest part about my job is when I take on the task of contacting your friends and family to get them these benefits, they think I'm some kind of telemarketer or a scammer. They don't know what the heck I'm talking about and they hang up on me. Give them like a smile when you say that. They don't know what the heck I'm talking about and they hang up on me. So if you guys could just go ahead, don't say, will, you don't ask. Just say, if you guys will just go ahead and do me a huge, huge favor and just let your friends and family know that you did sponsor them in. So that way everyone's on the same page and they know that we'll be giving them a heads up. I went ahead and wrote down the names of everybody so you don't have to try to remember who you did sponsor in. And then hand it to them, get that agreement, nod your head while you're saying it, and then when they tell you yes, just say, okay, I really appreciate it. And then you can move on to Child Safe. Any questions on solidification? A lot of people will have them text the referrals right in the house, so you can swing that too, and then do that instead. I personally haven't gone that route, but that way you know for sure that they're going to be letting them know.
God damn it.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, we'll just go ahead and wait until this is
Okay.
over.
Also, pick when you're collecting referrals, pick 2 no costs, and collect referrals off those. Don't ask for all 3. Just do 2. If they've got kids, do AD&D and Child Safe. If they don't have kids, AD&D and Health Services. That's what I do anyway. Because if you ask during all 3 and you're hitting them with 3 rebuttals and being this aggressive about it, then it's not really... That might turn them off. So pick 2 and go with that. When you get to Child Safe, and you've already done all this, so I'm sure you know people with kids, right? Okay, yeah, well, the police and firefighters are really awesome about blanketing in the air with these child safety kits. So this video is going to explain a little more about it. Hand them the kits. So we've got the child safety kit for each child in your home. Now they just ask that you do your part and let us know who else you know with young kids so we can get these child safety kits out to as many people as possible. So starting with the 10 names you gave me earlier, how many of these 10 people need a child safety kit? And then let them tell you. Because if you just ask for referrals, they're just going to start naming off the people they already gave you. So say who needs, out of those 10 names that you just gave me, guys, who needs a child safety kit? Let them tell you. And then say, okay, now who else do you know with it that isn't on this list that does need a child safety kit? And then you can get some extra referrals there. And that's pretty much all I have for you guys. Do you have any questions?
So I have an automated text message that I sent out, and I collected 10 referrals one time, and then she texted out after I told her to text that I'm an insurance salesman, and then I called all the 10 referrals, and 9 of them was like, yeah, man, fuck off, I don't want life insurance. But there was one that was like, hell yeah, I want life insurance, so it was a trial. But
Aw, that's why he wanted life insurance.
right. And then, but I do have this child safe kit text that I've been sending out, and she sent all 10 of her, 5 of her referrals that she gave me the child safe kit, and yeah, I set up all 5 of them.
Nice. Yeah, so if you get them to send automated texts out, that's good. Just don't do it in a group chat. Make sure they send them individually.
Right.
If you have them text in a group chat and one person says no, it's going to create groupthink and no one's going to want to sit with you. So have them text everybody individually. So a few key takeaways. So like I said before, make sure you're planting that seed. Asking what's his name when you're using all your ammo. Make sure that you do plant the seed in the beginning. After rapport and before the AD&D, it's really easy to forget, but that's why I built it into my presentation. Make sure you're planting the seed. Make sure you're saying, like I said before, to remind them about the seed you planted. Make sure you're being very assumptive when you're taking referrals. What's his name? Is it a 304 number? Don't say what's his. You can say what's the telephone number, but just be very assumptive about it, very matter of fact. And it's not pushy or rude. It's just everybody does it. 3 rebuttals per referral collection. And they're actually going to be more likely to buy from you if you get 10 referrals because they just gave you their whole family's information. And then I can't train the mindset, but you genuinely have to believe this is the most important part of the presentation. This is where you will make most of your money. That's where I make most of my money, is getting the referrals. It's not in the sale. Because the sales are just going to fall in your lap. You're going to run into people that just want to buy something because they see the value in the program and they understand how exclusive it is that they even have the privilege to sit down with us because you're getting so many referrals. And imagine and this is like the best part about all this. Imagine if every single office day, not just every week, every office day you come in and Ross dropped a fresh lead pack into your impact. A fresh one. People that have never been called before. People that are warm leads because they've already been contacted if you did your homework in the house. And they're going to be primed to sit with you. Every single office day, that's what happens when you collect these referrals. So you're never going to have trouble booking up a schedule.
Making its way down.
So do you suggest, because even if they don't have kids, you still ask for referrals for child care? I do that anyways. Like, even if they're 70, I'm like, oh, I know your kids are probably like done grown up, right? And I'm always like, well, do you know anybody else that might have kids? Like, get these out too. Like, do you suggest doing that?
That's
or?
perfectly fine. I don't usually do it, but yeah, like you can get one or two that way.
Just a quick one, you know.
Yeah.
throw it
As many
out.
reps as I could possibly get.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if that was just a waste of time or.
No, because you can get some that way. Most of the people that don't have kids aren't going to give child safe referrals, but some do. So it's not going to hurt to ask.
Waste time.
Yeah, I don't know why I said it like this.
Because you're
Is that a
fucking
waste
stupid.
time?
If you, and I'll end with this: if you're not coming in on a Monday morning and a Thursday morning, and being done calling with 16 field appointments by noon
Yeah.
every day consistently, then you're not doing it right. I would come in, Landon and Abby know they're the only ones that have been here long enough to see it.
Right
But
before your essay, and we got out of the agency meeting. You went to eat, and you was like, "All right, guys, I'm going home." I was like, "What?"
I didn't even have to go to lunch. I just was hungry. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go get some food with everyone, then go home. Go home.
Yeah.
If you're not leaving at noon consistently every single office day, then you're fucking up. Because if you're getting the presets that you need while you're running the field, and you're getting the referrals that you're supposed to, and you're doing the homework in the house, these people are going to be the easiest appointments you'll ever book. And just like Simon said on the referral video, I'll post it in the group me. Everyone go watch the referral video. If you watched it already, watch it again. Phones should be a joke. They literally should be. I was leaving at noon consistently, and they would get mad. They get mad at me because I'd be like, "See you
We
guys."
always said Evan was a piece of shit.
But if you're not leaving consistently at noon every single day, then you're doing it wrong. So watch that referral videos. Phones should be a joke to you. It should be come in, work for 3 hours, and go home. The only reason that I don't is because now I'm a manager and I have to obviously stay and have other responsibilities. But when you're just an agent, you should be leaving at noon every day. I mean, you're doing virtual, so it's a little bit different for you. But when you're running the field, Mondays and Thursdays should be your days off after you work 3 hours. That's it. That's all I got for you. Any other questions? Cool.